My next guest had everyone back in the 80s wanting a pair of Calvins. You know who it is. She made her mark in the modeling industry at the young age of 11, and let me tell you, she ruled it. Since, Brooke Shields has captivated the world with her classic style and demeanor. Now, at age 56, she is using her voice to advocate for inclusion and representation for those 50 and above. And she is here with me now to talk about her new campaign with Claude Dubois, motherhood, and life now, and how she feels about the fashion and beauty industry today. So, Brooke, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, more than ever before, we are seeing people challenge that belief or myth, really, that once you become a mature woman, especially in Hollywood, there are no longer any big breaking roles to play or runways to walk or brands to work with. So there has long been underrepresentation of women over 50 in those arenas, to be real. But tell me how you are trying to change that conversation. And when did this become a calling of yours?
It really just sort of was born out of this shock that after living so much of life and after surviving so much and finally being in my skin in a way that I feel comfortable and I'm proud and all of that, now I'm being told that that's it. You're over. And I mean, I do think you see it changing in the film industry, definitely. But as far as things like alcohol advertising or just advertising in general, the 40 even plus are not represented. And it really is sort of shocking to me to say, isn't it ironic that I finally feel ready to start? Because instead of just always keeping up and always feeling like I'm treading water, now is when there's nothing out there for me. And all the women I know who are in this phase of their lives are starting the most incredible new projects and new adventures and new vocations and new things in life. And now I've got the freedom to do it and the confidence, and they're empty nesters they're looking towards their future. And Claude Dubois, really, that's their whole messaging. And they approached me and said their Long Live campaign, which was so beautifully came to life through Courtney Cox, who directed it, really just sort of physically shows people of this age bracket with vitality, doing things they love to do, whether it's a physical exercise or whether it's just joy of dancing or doing whatever makes you happy, not what you should do or following a certain plan based on your ovaries or based on whatever the world tells you or your parents tell you or school, all these sort of regulations that we live by. You sort of find yourself in this phase saying, oh, maybe I'll make my rules now.
What do I want to do?
Yeah, what do I want to do? And look at how far I've come and pat myself on the back for all that I've done, all these different jobs I've had and the times I've failed and got back up, the times that I've been hurt or, I've raised kids or whatever the thing is that you've endured, you find yourself here.
And what is that thing for you these days, Brooke? What is the thing like, if you could choose it, this is my happy place. This is what I want to do.
I used to feel that I always needed to be doing something, that everything had to be productive. Everything had to be a means to an end. Everything was, even if it was, okay, but then you have to organize. So, okay, maybe you've got 4 hours or you're home. So redo that, redo this, organize that again. And everything had that kind of, I've got to keep going forward, keep moving forward, keep being productive, making something better or getting closer to something. And just sitting and watching Outlander or Ghosts, or like I run the gamut, or just sitting and reading a book or sitting doing something just quiet used to feel scary to me, or sleeping when I can finally sleep. But so I think there's been this a pace change, but I'm not slowing down. I'm actually filling myself up differently.
Well, you are such an ambassador for health and wellness as well. And last year, you broke your femur when you had an accident falling off a balance board, and you tracked and shared your physical therapy and recovery to just help encourage others, and made a point of talking about how you did it all without pain medications. Amazing. You talked to us about that not too long ago. So how are you feeling now, and how has life changed since the accident?
I wasn't trying to be a hero, and I believe in medication. I believe it for specific reasons. I have, I come from like a line of addicts, and so I think with regards to certain opioids that were, presented to me, I was fearful. So I don't look down on it. I do think that it's dangerous, and they prescribe them very readily. And
for sure,
the bone is all healed and everything is sort of where it should be. And I don't walk with a limp anymore, but my strength is really compromised. I was looking at, reading about Tiger. We had a lot of the same injuries at the exact time. And, the extraordinary thing that he's done in returning, he didn't just heal, he got all his strength back, and I'm healed. And I thought I had my strength back until I started to try to do certain things. I've got to amp that up a little bit.
Build that muscle back up.
I'm still pretty atrophied,
You went through a lot, but you are busy. You're also taking part in Victoria's Secret's upcoming Mother's Day campaign. And you, of course, are mom to daughters Rowan and Greer. And Greer, am I right, just turned 16?
Yes, yesterday she turned 16, and she had expressed interest in going into the modeling world, not in lieu of any school, but and we were approached and said, we're the Victoria's Secret, that we're doing a Mother's Day campaign. Would you and your daughter? And I asked her, and it was just such an emotionally beautiful period. I have resisted this, but to watch her handle herself in a way that makes me realize, okay, she has a pretty strong character. And so I don't feel like this business will eat her up. And it was really fun to, be in front of the camera with her. It was nice. I had to resist directing her, Sit up straight. Don't do that. Push your shoulder back. Don't do that with your mouth. All the things that you just sort of can't help yourself from saying in real life to your kid because you're a pain in the neck.
I love that. Brooke Shields is a mom through and through.
And I'm also working with Prospect Farms. I've just joined their team because, as anybody over a certain age will tell you, sleep is very elusive. And it just doesn't really seem like it's a big part of my day. And I really need to sleep. So I started working with them. Prospect Farms is a CBD farm, and I've been learning and asking a lot of questions about all that, and sort of learning the benefits and the physical benefits of CBD and how much it can help, and sort of understanding the language around that. So between CBD and wine, I'm good to go.
Wine, CBD, we're here.
Yeah, kids out of the house, CBD and wine. I am a happy, well-rested person.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about your take on the industry now, and just this, the where we find ourselves with a lot of those pressures, and how you attack them or choose not to when it comes to plastic surgery, fillers, implants, all these things that we've seen become mainstream at this point. And even, the age range get younger and younger for the people who are opting to go that route. So what advice do you have for younger women? I mean, like you said, you have your daughters going into the industry in different facets. What do you say when you look at this and you see just how much things have changed?
What I say to my daughters is, I know you think you know everything right now, and for where you are, you know what you know, but it's really, I believe, dangerous to start any of it too young, because I don't think young people fully know who they are. The risk of regretting something, or the risk of something happening and changing before they can even know who they are and know what motivates them and what they're really about, to start changing things because you think it's going to make you happy. It's really hard to be a young person. It's hard to be an older person, but there's a lot. It's hard to get through your youth, in general, and to sort of chase things that are just maybe purely physical, that feel like they're going to change your happiness beyond anything temporarily, I think can be a risky cycle to get into. The women that I've known that have had certain things done that they've waited to get done, it's been the happiest thing that they've ever done. And they waited, they earned it. It's this nagging problem that just plagues them, and they've reached a certain age and they can afford it, and I've seen it change for the positive. But I think just chasing youth gets a little dangerous. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm always going to my dermatologist and saying, well, what have you got? What do you do? I mean, I'm really scared of not having my face not move, but it's not that I'm against it. And I think that I'm always doing I did a blood vampire facial and a radiation, whatever, that's supposed to tighten your skin. It's all there. I think it's when you go too far, you really sort of change the essence of who you are. I think that gets scary and sad. And I would really be terrified if my face changed.
Everyone would. That is the face.
My face, and they know this is who we are now. Let's embrace that. And the versatility of that, and how different we all are. And that has to come out. And I think and I love being this age.
Such a beautiful and powerful message. Brooke, thank you so much for being on and taking the time with me.
Well, thank you so much.